My girlfriend said, "You can't tell me what to do." I replied, "You're right." "We're not married." Then I packed her suitcases, changed the code, recorded door audio at 3:15 a.m. and texted storage unit 3B. I had photos and a security guard listening. Then a fake eviction notice hit my door. "Welcome to AF Tales." My girlfriend said, "I'm going clubbing with guys. You can't stop me. We aren't married." I said, "You're right." I packed her bags and left them outside. When she came back at 300 a.m., I texted, "Now you're not dating either. Enjoy the streets." As you listen, think about what you would have done in my place. I'm 29, and I'm writing this at 3:47 a.m. while my now ex-girlfriend is pounding on my apartment door and yelling to be let in. Let me back up. We were together for 2 years. About 8 months ago, she moved into my apartment after her roommate's situation fell through. I said fell through because later I found out she got kicked out for not paying rent, but that's a whole other mess. The plan was temporary. She said she'd contribute $400 a month for utilities and groceries while she got back on her feet. She worked as a part-time retail manager and brought in around $1,800 a month. I'm a software developer, and my salary covers the $2,100 rent and basically everything else. She never really got back on her feet. The $400 became $200, then $100, then "I'll get you next week, babe." I let it slide because I loved her and thought we were building towards something real. This was one of those slow red flags that people ignore because it doesn't feel like a crisis. It just feels like you're being patient. Tonight started normal. I got home around 6:00 p.m. and she was getting ready, doing her makeup, wearing a dress I'd never seen before. Tight and short, like she was going all out. I asked where she was going. She said she was going clubbing with some people from work. I said okay and asked if she wanted me to come. She laughed and said it wasn't really my scene, that they were just going to dance and have drinks. Something felt off, but I didn't press. I didn't want to be the guy who turns a simple night out into an argument. Around 8:00 p.m. She went to the bathroom and her phone kept buzzing on the couch. I wasn't trying to snoop. The notifications were lighting up right in front of me. I saw messages like, "Can't wait to see you tonight," "Wear that black dress I like," and "Save me a dance." They were from guys, 3 different guys. When she came out, I kept my voice calm. I asked who all was going tonight. She said just coworkers. I asked why guys were going, since her phone was blowing up with flirty messages. Her face changed fast. She went from defensive to aggressive and accused me of checking her phone. I told her I didn't open anything. I only saw what popped up on the screen. She rolled her eyes and said I needed to get over my insecurity. I said I wasn't insecure. I said it felt disrespectful. She snapped back. "Disrespectful to what? To have male friends, to go out and have fun. We're not married. You can't tell me what to do." The room went quiet. I just looked at her for a second because something in me settled into place. I said, "You're right. We're not married." She looked relieved, like she thought I finally got it. She said exactly and that she could do whatever she wanted. I said, "Yep, and so can I." She grabbed her purse, still fired up, and said she'd be back whenever she felt like it and told me not to wait up. Then she slammed the door. Here's the thing about statements like, "You can't tell me what to do." Sometimes it's true, but it also tells you how little the relationship matters to them in that moment. I sat there for about 5 minutes just staring at the wall, trying to understand what I was feeling. It wasn't just jealousy. It was like I realized I was playing a role in her life, and the role had rules. Then I got up and started packing. I pulled out the 4 suitcases I owned and packed every single thing of hers. Clothes, shoes, makeup, hair products, that stuffed unicorn from the state fair, all of it. I took photos as I packed, with timestamps visible, because my gut told me I might need proof later. I carried the bags down to the building storage area in the basement and locked them in my assigned unit. Building management knows me. I've lived here 3 years. I pay early. I don't cause problems. Then I changed my locks. I had a keypad deadbolt I'd been meaning to install anyway. It took about 40 minutes. I changed the code. I walked through the apartment and removed every trace of her. her face wash from the bathroom, her almond milk from the fridge, her charger by the bed. I packed those too. Then I took photos of the clean apartment. The timestamp said 11:43 p.m. I went to bed and set my phone to silent except for one number, my buddy who's a paralegal, because I had a feeling I might need advice. I woke up at 3:15 a.m. to pounding on my door. She was yelling for me to open up. She said she forgot her key and her key wasn't working. She asked if I was seriously asleep. She kept pounding. I grabbed my phone, opened my camera app, and started recording audio with the phone held by the door. Then I texted her. I told her we weren't dating anymore. I told her her belongings were in the building basement storage unit 3B, and I'd leave the key with the night security guard. I told her to collect her things and leave. The pounding got louder. She started screaming that I couldn't do this. I texted again and reminded her of what she said earlier. We weren't married. I couldn't tell her what to do, and she couldn't tell me who lives in my apartment. I told her she no longer lived here, her things were packed and safe, and she needed to collect them and leave. At this point, ask yourself what you would do. Because once someone starts yelling outside your door at 300 a.m., the relationship is already past the point of talk it out calmly tomorrow. I called building security. I told them my ex-girlfriend was causing a disturbance in the hallway, that I asked her to collect her belongings and leave, and she was refusing. Security came up. I could hear him through the door telling her to lower her voice because people were sleeping. She said I locked her out and she lived here. Security asked if she had proof of residency and if her name was on the lease. There was silence. He told her if she wasn't on the lease and the tenant was asking her to leave, she needed to collect her belongings and go. Otherwise, he'd have to call the police for trespassing. She screamed more, then cried. Then a friend showed up like backup. They went to storage, got her things, and left around 4:30 a.m. I didn't sleep after that. I just sat there, wondering if I did the right thing, and at the same time I felt the most peace I'd felt in months. 2 days later, it got worse. Saturday morning, I woke up to over 30 texts from her. They swung from "I can't believe you" to "I'm sorry, baby" to "You're a psycho," and then back to "I love you, we can work this out." I ignored all of it and blocked her number. Then her mother called me. I didn't even know her mother had my number. She was furious and asked how I could throw her daughter out on the street at 300 a.m. I told her calmly. Her daughter told me she could do whatever she wanted because we weren't married, then went clubbing with other guys all night. I told her I simply agreed with her. Her mom said she was just having fun with friends. She cried and said her daughter was devastated and didn't mean it and was young and free. I said she's 27, not 17, and she made her choice. I made mine. Then I hung up and blocked that number too. Later, my paralegal buddy called and told me she posted on social media that I violently threw her out and destroyed her property. I sent him all my photos with timestamps, the text showing where her stuff was, and the building security footage request showing me calmly moving suitcases and her friend helping remove them. Nothing damaged. He told me not to engage. Then Sunday morning, 2 cops showed up at my door. My stomach dropped. They said they got a report that I forcibly evicted my girlfriend and may have damaged her property. I stayed calm. I showed them my lease with only my name. I explained she was a guest who I asked to leave after she made it clear she didn't want to be in a committed relationship. I showed them the photos of me packing carefully and the text messages telling her where her belongings were. The older cop asked if I gave her 30 days notice. I said she wasn't a tenant. She never paid rent, never signed anything, and I had records showing she never contributed to the rent. The younger cop looked like he was trying not to smirk. The older cop said technically, in this state, if someone has been living somewhere for more than 30 days, they may have tenant rights even if they didn't pay rent. My stomach sank again. But he also said given that she verbally ended the relationship herself, told me I had no authority over her actions, and was voluntarily absent when I secured the place. It was a gray area. They said they recommended we settle it civilly, but they weren't going to arrest me for asking someone who broke up with me to leave my apartment. They left, and I immediately called my buddy. He pulled up the laws and said she might try to argue tenant rights, but she'd have to take it to civil court and prove she was paying rent or had a real expectation of continued residency. And my text showed she initiated the breakup with that "you can't tell me what to do" line. He told me to keep documentation, don't contact her, don't respond, and if she actually sues, we deal with it. Monday, my building manager called. He said my ex's mother came by demanding a key to my apartment to retrieve her daughter's belongings. The manager told her only residents on the lease get keys, and she threatened to sue the building for illegally locking out a tenant. I told him she's not a tenant, and he agreed, but warned me she was making a scene. That evening, my ex tried a different approach. Her friend texted me from a new number saying she was sorry and wanted to talk. I replied once, saying we were done and they needed to stop contacting me. The friend called me ridiculous and said everyone makes mistakes. I told her the mistake was me tolerating disrespect for months. Then I blocked that number too. Here's a pattern I want you to notice. When someone crosses a line, then calls you cruel for reacting, they're not arguing about love. They're arguing about access. A week later, things escalated again. Thursday night, I got home and found a notice taped to my door. It looked like an eviction notice for illegal lockout. My heart stopped until I looked closer. It wasn't from the building. It was fake. She printed something off the internet with legal language, trying to scare me into letting her back in. I took a photo and sent it to my buddy. He laughed and said it was embarrassingly fake, but to keep it as evidence. Friday, she showed up at my workplace. My office is pretty relaxed. Open floor plan. Reception is usually chill. Somehow she walked right in and started asking for me. A coworker came to my desk and said someone was looking for me and seemed upset. I saw my ex crying in the waiting area, makeup running with coworkers staring. I walked over and told her she needed to leave. She begged for 5 minutes. I said no and told her if she didn't leave, I'd call security. Then she raised her voice and announced to my workplace that I threw her out at 300 a.m. and made her homeless. She called me cruel in front of everyone. My boss came out and asked if there was a problem. My ex turned on the waterworks and said she was my girlfriend and I locked her out of our apartment. I kept my voice calm and said she is my ex-girlfriend. She's not on my lease, and she's upset because I took her words seriously when she said we weren't married and I had no say in her life. My boss understood immediately and told her to leave, that this is a workplace. He warned he'd call security if she didn't go voluntarily. She tried one last thing and said I had all her stuff, including medications. My boss repeated the warning. She left, but not before saying I'd regret it. My boss pulled me aside and told me to document everything in case she tried something else. That evening, I got an email from a law office threatening to sue me for $15,000. The email address was a random Gmail account. I sent it to my buddy and he laughed so hard he almost choked. He said no real law office uses a Gmail address for official legal demands, and I should not respond unless I get served with real papers. Sunday morning, the building fire alarm went off at 600 a.m. Everyone evacuated in pajamas while the fire department checked the place. No fire. False alarm. Security footage showed a woman matching my ex's description tailgating into the building behind another resident, going to my floor, pulling the fire alarm and leaving. The building manager was furious. He said it's a criminal offense and he was filing a police report. I gave him her information. Sunday afternoon, my landlord's attorney called. That made my heart drop again. They said they received a complaint that I illegally evicted a tenant and they needed to discuss it. I explained everything and sent them my lease, my texts, my photos, and all documentation. Monday morning, the attorney called back and said I was fine and she had no case. They said they were sending her a cease and desist letter for false complaints and for the fire alarm incident, and if she contacted me or the building again, They would pursue harassment charges. I felt actual relief. Then Monday evening, I got a message on social media from one of the guys whose name I saw in her notifications that night. "The can't wait to see you tonight guy." He told me she told all of them she was single. He said he and 2 other guys were planning to hook up with her that night at the club and she was playing all of them. When they figured it out, they bailed. He said she spent the night trying to get them to stay and ended up leaving alone. He told me he thought I should know. I thanked him for the heads up and blocked him too. At that point, the story she was selling about being a victim just fell apart. The facts didn't match. 3 weeks later, things finally started wrapping up. The cease and desist letter from the building's attorney scared her straight for about a week. Then she tried one more move. She created a fake social media account pretending to be me and messaged my friends and family claiming I was having a breakdown and needed help. One of my cousins called me panicked because the message mentioned I was suicidal. I had to explain what was happening, report the account, and it got taken down within a day. That wasn't just petty. That was dangerous. When someone starts lying to your people to control the narrative, it's not drama anymore. It's harassment. She tried contacting my mother too. My mom already didn't like her, and that call ended fast. My mom called me afterward and said my ex was crying about how I ruined her life. My mom told her maybe she should have thought about that before disrespecting her son, then hung up. The last piece fell into place when my ex ran out of money staying with a friend and had to move back in with her parents. Her mother called me again, blaming me and claiming I stole her daughter's savings. I told her the truth. Over 8 months, my ex gave me maybe $800 total for utilities and groceries. That's not rent. I had bank records. I didn't owe her anything. Her mother started screaming and called me a manipulative abuser. I hung up and blocked the number again. She had been calling from different phones. Then a mutual friend sent me screenshots. My ex posted on social media about her toxic ex who financially abused her and kicked her out with nowhere to go. In the comments, multiple people who actually knew us called her out. People said she told them she was single and living rent-free. Someone said she admitted she was using me until she found someone better. Even one of the guys from the club commented that she told him she was single and tried to hook up with him and his friends the same night. She deleted the post within an hour, but the screenshots didn't disappear. After that, the victim's story stopped working. People stopped rushing to defend her. The noise faded. My buddy helped me file a police report for the fire alarm incident. She got a citation and had to pay a $500 fine. The building also pursued her for the cost of the false alarm response, another $300. She sent one last text from yet another number saying she hoped I was happy and I ruined her life over one mistake. I replied once. I told her she said I couldn't tell her what to do and I listened. I told her actions have consequences and wished her luck. Then I blocked that number too. Looking back, there were red flags everywhere. The money stuff. The defensiveness. The way every basic question turned into me being controlling. I ignored it because I thought love meant being patient and understanding. But there's a difference between patience and being a doormat. She wanted a stable boyfriend who pays bills and stays quiet, while she kept the freedom to do whatever she wanted. The second I took her words seriously, she panicked because she lost the safety net. Some people will call you the bad guy when you finally set a boundary they can't walk over. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you stopped being useful. My apartment is peaceful now. Bills are lower without someone coasting. My stress is way down. I've been on a few dates, nothing serious because I'm not rushing. I'm taking time to figure out what I actually want. And I know one thing for sure. It's not someone who says they can do whatever they want because we're not married, while still expecting me to act like a husband when it benefits them. Lesson 1. When someone uses, "we're not married" to excuse disrespect, believe them, and decide what that means for your life. Lesson 2. Document everything the moment a breakup turns into accusations. Calm proof beats loud stories. Lesson 3. A partner who wants freedom without responsibility isn't building a future, they're renting stability. Lesson 4. If you feel more peace the moment they leave than you felt while they were there, that's your answer. Lesson 5. Setting a boundary can make you look cruel to people who only heard the other side. Protect your peace anyway. What would you have done when she said, "You can't stop me, we aren't married"? Would you have tried to talk it out, or would you have ended it right there? And do you think I went too far, or did I finally do what I should have done months earlier?